what they do.
Saquon just makes sense right now for everything else that's going on, but I won't be surprised. Imagine if Giants actually pick up Chubb. I'll just be like, I would just be like, okay.
All right, we're going all defense. What are we, the Jets?
Call your on Sports Talk.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Who's this? Is this Dave from Franklin Square?
Dave! My best friend.
It really should. Again, I know nothing's obvious in sports, but if Cleveland should draft Josh Allen in the first round,
man,
and the Giants sit back, and then all of a sudden Buffalo throws the entire thing at the Giants,
the Hail Mary,
and Buffalo gets its quarterback, the Jets get their quarterback. Can Cleveland at that point either grab Barkley or trade him, or let somebody else sacrifice their picks?
In theory, yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, really.
Cleveland is playing this thing like the Patriots right now.
No, the Giants
it's systematic.
The Giants are playing it the best.
I don't know.
Yes, they were in the hammock with a iced tea, just waiting for the phone call.
Well, we'll see. I mean, what do you listen? Let me ask you a question, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
If the Giants, what is it going to take for the Giants to give the Bills that second rounder? What do you want back in return? You're the GM. What do you want back?
The 2 first rounders this year, and then number 1 for next year.
So you're asking back more than they would get for Odell Beckham Jr. in all reality.
He's not being traded. He's hurt his value so much that the Giants are never going to get quid pro quo. So.
Oh, I agree with you. I think and especially I believe the Brandon Cooks trade to LA completely squandered any deal that they could possibly do.
And let's not forget the biggest picture.
Mm-hmm.
The NFC is superior. The Giants aren't. I'm a lifelong Giant fan. The Giants are not going to compete for 3 or 4 years. Look at the teams they got to go. Look at the offenses they have to go against. When you look at Philadelphia, even out there in Frisco,
Green Bay, New Orleans.
You have to be realistic that this is a mentoring period, and I understand there's a couple of good quarterbacks coming out next year. So Eli mentors, and if he doesn't cut it, then we get some. Then I'm on the team. You pick up somebody next year.
It almost sounds like being a Knicks fan while LeBron's playing in the East.
Yeah, it's like talking about New York hockey during the playoffs. Yeah, I honestly, again, like I said, I make the joke that people that listen at the Cleveland sports radio, and we always looked at, they laugh at us now. We are basically a joke. As far as New York teams,
are we talking about hockey or basketball?
Everything.
Yeah,
we stink up and down. I mean, I know the Yankees are there. I understand. They're a lightning rod.
It's been 9 years, man.
How about teams that are owned by New Yorkers look like embarrassments, too?
I'll tell you what, it's the owners of the teams that are the embarrassments.
Yeah, and again, Dolan keeps cashing checks, but I'll give credit to him. He was the one guy to put his own money into MSG.
And give him also credit for getting out of the way when he allowed Glenn Sather to just rebuild the Rangers and not bother.
He's out of the Rangers, which is good.
If there's anybody who can save the Knicks, it's Glenn Sather. Because he can say, "Hey, listen, Jim, just stop. You don't know anything about sports."
Okay, can I be Dolan for a second?
Yes, please.
I sell the place out every night.
Yeah, it's not a bad point.
These are the guys that don't want to go home to the old lady, that want to have a nice night. They want to take the clients out. They want to do this, and then when they get home and they open the door and go, "Honey, I closed the deal." She's happy. He's happy. And again, like I said, I know I'm talking in large things there, but people will always migrate, especially in wintertime. Why jump in the subway train and go home when you can actually enjoy yourself for a while?
Look, I get it, but at some point, especially with the Knicks, and look, I know the Rangers had a few shots there. One of them was a shot down by my team, the Devils, but then we got swept by the Kings in the Stanley Cup Finals. At what point with the Knicks does enough become enough, and getting the right people in and letting them do their jobs? When does even Dolan? When does he get tired of it? When does he just want to win?
You can't do that in New York. You cannot have a rebuilding program.
So what do you do? I mean, you build for the draft. I get that, but nobody wants to come here right now.
Which city a little bit south of us is laughing at us in basketball.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, trust the process.
Well, not after last night's hockey game.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Sports Radio laughs at guys. Come on, we have to do something. We have to get out there and do something, guys. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, but even Philadelphia, and again, I'm not a basketball fan, but they rebuilt themselves by losing. I mean, it's an incredible anomaly as far as sports.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Look at the Marlins. How many people showed up to the Marlins game?
Yeah, their Double-A
And
team sold us. I think had a better attendance than one of the Marlins kids they had this weekend.
That's what they do, though. They draft well. The Marlins scout and draft well, and then once they do anything with the people they have in the major league level, they sell them all off. That's what they've always done.
It sounds like the Pittsburgh Pirates of old.
Yep.
And look what McCutcheon's doing out there in Frisco. Basically nothing, like Moria, nothing.
Hey, Dave, have you ever? Can we give you a new show to call into?
Really?
The Mark and Rich Show.
Mark and Rich Show. Dave, he's referring to my brother's show out in San Diego.
Rich, will I? As long as you're standing in Bird Bath and Beyond checking receipts.
I'm not. I'm only there Sundays. I'll be in Greenville tomorrow.
Greenville?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Moving on up?
Moving on up to the North Shore.
Oh, okay.
He finally got a piece of the pie.
Which store up there?
No, school.
Oh, LIU? Or?
No, the Bosey School in Greenville. You know the one?
You're doing security. That's right.
Yeah, you know the one behind Bosey's, PC Richards over there?
No, I didn't go to Bosey's. Thank you. I don't know where it is.
Oh, do you know where PC Richards is?
I work for the town of Hempstead. I'm not allowed to go over the viaduct. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm only kidding. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, you live in Franklin Square, too, so you really can't go north of what...
I never leave Nassau County.
So you don't... But
I do. I live in Suffolk.
If I do, that bracelet on my ankle goes off.
No, you know what happens, actually? People think that Plainview's in Suffolk.
No, like I said, Plainview is a weird duck. It's like trying to describe the five towns to somebody, and it's like, what? And I was like, oh, please.
Inwood. What's an Inwood?
Yeah, Inwood.
What's
Lawrence, Cedarhurst, the whole bit.
What about, you know what another crazy name is in Nassau County?
Hail site.
Laurel Hollow.
Yeah, I had an umpire up there once.
Matinacock.
All right, we gonna win all the Indian names.
How Paug?
That's out east. I'm talking about
I'm
Nassau.
kidding.
Nassau. Kings Point, is that it?
Oh, Kings Point, Kingsport. Well, Kings Point, I've gone through. That's a rather nice facility.
Did you go to the haunted asylum?
Like I said,
That's Kings Park.
I have to check the Park and Harbor Hills. If you go a little bit further north, it's Kings Point.
Don't worry, I got it right.
I drove there by mistake the other day.
We all do.
And look at the... Oh, I want to live there, but I just know... That's Jose Reyes' house. Oh, no.
Dave, what do you think about the firing of Jeff Hornacek?
It's sort of like the French Revolution. They just go next.
Yeah.
And then, all right, we're going to bring a system guy in, and then, no, it doesn't work that way. And again, like I said, as long as Dolan is sitting there in the first row, and he's got security sitting behind him, he just turns his head to the left and right and go, wow, I'm still making money. And it's just, again, it's the inertia of not having to actually do anything. So.
Well, you know what? That ended briefly, I should say, a few years ago when they noticed they weren't making any more money because of all of the terrible decisions they made, whether it be the Isaiah years, the Eddie Curry draft pick, skipping on. I mean, come on, it goes on. And they had to go out and they made a play and they picked up Amari Stoudemire, and then eventually they traded for Carmelo Anthony, and suddenly the Garden started filling up again. When do the fans get fed up enough to stop going to Knicks games again? Because it did happen for a little while.
It doesn't happen. There's too many tourists that go to the games.
Understand one thing, and those seats that you're looking at that are empty have been sold. I mean, the corporations and stuff like that. Those things are gone. I'm not saying it's right. It's sort of like sitting in the moat at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's just it is what it is. What are you going to do?
The fans need to pick it. I've come up with it. That's what we need to do. We need to set a line.
And go out there in April, see what happens.
So Dave, what do you think of my idea?
Which one would that be?
The start baseball April 15th, doubleheaders every Sunday.
Never happened. They're too darn greedy. I would agree with you. In fact, my dad used to take myself and my brother, and we only had one of the Yankee fan on the block, Danny Connor, and he would actually take us out there. And there was actually doubleheaders where they would actually, on ball day, they would give you a ball. You would have a ball, and literally and figuratively. And I think there was a couple of Saturdays where it was bat day, and if there was a rain out, you would, instead of this ridiculous start at 1 and clean the stadium out and let you come back at 8. It was a simpler time, and you appreciated it more, only because they actually let you watch batting practice and, just little things that added to the game. Now the game right now is just a little bit too clean.
I'll tell you what, the Mets are doing a very classy thing. The game that got rained out against I think it was one of the Cardinals games. I might be wrong, but they're
No, it was his opening day. They just played it the next day.
Oh, that's no. There was a game that was canceled.
I think it was either against the Cardinals or the Phillies.
I'm pretty sure it was
Phillies.
It was the Phillies. It was the Phillies.
Single admission.
They're doing single admission, true doubleheader, 4:30 start on July 14th to do that game. So I thought that was really classy.
Dave,
we're just doing everything right.
For ball day, they gave you 1 ball or 2 balls?
Well, you came in with 2 balls.
So you leave with 1? That doesn't sound fair.
That sounds like a painful event.
Remember, it was me and Dad, my brother. Any other questions?
Oh, my God.
And only 1 could be autographed.
It depends on what club you're at.
Well, Dad didn't take it there.
Was Hiroki Ojita there on bat day?
No, bat day they actually had the bat was actually inscribed with which bat you would get, and everybody was looking for the Joe Pepitone bat.
Did they give you the kid size or the adult size?
I think we're going in the wrong direction.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Yes, but then, then nickel beer night came on bat day, and it was not a really good idea. So.
This isn't getting
People
better.
started
swinging?
Yeah. Well, again, you're lowering the level of the show here. What can I tell you?
I'm not.
Oh, my God.
You take 2 things, you go to the end, you go, wow.
Just
and
stop.
One of the most outstanding things I did see on television is the documentary, and it lasted for an hour and a half, on Andre the Giant.
Oh, I didn't get to see it. Was it good?
It was heart-wrenching. He was a
big boy,
7'3", came from France, and what they did to that poor guy, once he became popular.
Yeah.
And he actually, and I'm not a wrestling fan, but he brought wrestling into the limelight, as did Mr. McMahon. But he used to get tortured. He couldn't walk to a restaurant, an airport, without being laughed at. And then he was, as did the documentation show, he would be wrestling in Florida one night and Tokyo the next night.
Crazy.
They wanted to show
Crazy, yeah.
Impossible. The fights are too long.
Yeah, I was going to make a Princess Bride reference.
Yeah, I mean, and the guy was so miserable. And the problem was his body was huge, but he had R-sized ankles, so he was always breaking down. And at the end, he gave a shot of his legs, and there was scars all over the place. But he was such an unhappy man. But he understood what the game was all about, just turning. And again, I'm not a wrestling fan, but he understood he couldn't move anymore, and he had to turn the wrestling game over to McMahon and to Hulk Hogan, and that's when it really blew up in the late '80s, I believe, and '90s.
Man.
No, again, like I said, if you get an hour and a half out of your life, you're going to not reflect, but understand how horrible his life was. So,
I mean, there's a lot of documentaries coming out, a lot of powerful documentaries. I think actually tonight I'm planning on watching the Paterno documentary. I think that came out already.
Yeah, I saw it on the scroll.
I don't want to know too much about it, but I mean, my brother played for Penn State, so I mean, we heard plenty about everything. But I mean, we didn't obviously know about any of that. But it's I want to see the how they did this, and I thought Pacino was the perfect guy to play him.
He's my favorite actor. I mean, I have actors from the past, but currently, through them. And again, I'm a little bit older. Again, from Serpico all the way on through, and he knows how to grab the scene. That's what I can say.
You have a stucco mansion in Miami?
get to see my. I was going to do that thing. It really is funny when he's doing the coke, when he's got his head in there and he comes up with all the coke under his. I mean, obviously we'd all be dead if he had that much coke on it, and stuff like that. But I mean, he was over the top. But the whole movie was over the top. That was what it was all about. So no, just a wonderful actor. Really, really wonderful actor.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, and I think he's also in that movie. The Irishman's supposed to be coming out soon with him and De Niro and all those guys.
Oh, and yes, that's Whitey Bulger up in Boston.